historical significance of the Gullah community and culture to South Carolina and the Low Country is significant, truly significant. We have about 45% of West African enslaved people coming into the port of Charleston, into South Carolina. And throughout South Carolina, we have wonderful sea islands, and especially here in the Low Country, you're going to have great populations of Gullah Geechee people keeping their culture intact. That's their foodways, the way of life ways of farming and living off of the water, our language, our superstitions and religious beliefs, and our cultural art forms. All of these are being, hopefully, continuing to be preserved throughout this area.
This is a part of our heritage. These baskets were being made ever since they brought my ancestors over. They made it and used it for utilitarian work. And down through the years, we started making functional baskets wherein you use in your home.
Well, the art form itself came over from Sierra Leone, West Africa, with my ancestors over 300 years ago. But my ancestors were sold to the masters at the Boone Hull plantation. And as they roamed the plantation, that's when they found the material. I was taught this art formed by my mom and my great-grandmother over 49 years ago. And, you know, I just loved doing whatever they did, and they took time and taught me how to weave.
The culture, the rituals, the very fabric that coastal people live every day, the shrimping, all of that will be threatened if we don't do something about global warming and climate change.
I think that climate change is probably, and I don't necessarily spend a lot of time in hyperbole, but I think it is probably the most significant issue facing us as a human species today. It has been through the last 50 to 75 years in particular that we've been collecting data. We have been analyzing that data. We have been able to empirically, by observation and experimentation, show that our planet is changing. Not just changing, but changing on a very rapid basis, especially more recently.
The climate is very important to us. It's extremely important to the Gullah way of life. Even with our cultural ways, our traditional ways, the sweetgrass baskets that a lot of families sew, and they're passing this tradition on from generation to generation, we're finding that the sweetgrass, the bulrush are becoming scarce to find.
The Greater Grand Strand is very vulnerable to what's going to happen with climate change. It's the rising ocean, it's the marine life, it's our tourism, it's the cultural effects, like for example the sweetgrass baskets. They are a part of our culture, and they're going to disappear when the sweetgrass disappears.
Rising sea level in an area, in a way, because, you know, I see some of the sweetgrass seem as though it's dying at the roots of it. And I think it's probably from the water level that it sits so long and start rotting in the root of it. I think the sea level has something to do with that.
For me, I would say the biggest threat is not having the sweetgrass because of the erosion and so forth. If we don't have the sweetgrass, we can't do the baskets.
Those opportunities are being threatened by rising levels of seawater. There is a very close and intimate connection between the people and the land. It's not simply culture as a way of life. It's culture as survival and as future vision. So that you walk the land, you tread the waters, and you understand that there is your life.
How it is today, I think on that point, I think we would be on the losing part, because for a lot of the developments and so forth, like, see, the majority of the sweetgrass is something grows wild. And then I don't think they're gonna go out of their way to try to preserve grass versus doing something else with that land of some sort.
The one thing I'm afraid of losing is that land. That land is the foundation of everything. That land is our foundation. I'm worried about losing the land.
Tell you the truth, I don't know what I'll do if I don't be weaving my basket. We are getting older, and the culture, I don't know. You pray for it to keep going, but there will be a stopping point. I know it will be.